Good evening. Thanks for being with us. You're watching the 9 at Night. I'm Leigh Waldman. San Antonio City Councilman Councilman Perry is out on bond tonight, hours after his arrest on a DWI charge. This appears to be linked to an alleged hit-and-run crash on November 6th. San Antonio police filed a DWI case against Perry earlier this month, but the decision to charge was made by prosecutors. Online records show Perry was arrested this morning and was later released on bond. He previously turned himself in on a separate charge, failure to stop and give information after a crash that resulted in damages to a vehicle over $200. Now, we reached out to Perry, who is on leave of absence, for comment. As of this hour, he has not yet responded. An update to a story we've been following since 5. Kerrville police are working to identify a body found in Nimitz Lake. The body was found by a Texas DPS helicopter around 2:40 this afternoon. Guadalupe Park was closed during that investigation. An autopsy will determine the cause of death. Slowly, the tap is turning back on for Texas Water Utilities customers. It's working to lift boil water notices issued this week. Now, several subdivisions got water back on over the last 48 hours, but many are still waiting for that good news. That includes the Lake Medina Shores neighborhood in Bandera County. Homeowners say they have not had water or have had water off and on since Thursday or Friday.
See, the water's not on at all. There's nothing.
There was no hype to get Christmas dinner made because I couldn't do dishes. It's not a want, it's a need, it's a necessity. Come and fix these pipes.
The Texas Water Utilities West Region office says the system at Lake Medina Shores should be pressurized today, but they'll need to take water samples to make sure it's safe for use. Other subdivisions currently under a boil water notice are Holiday Villages of Medina and Bandera County, Oak Ridge and Verde Park Estates in Kerr County, and the Oaks North Mobile Home Estates in Bexar County. Southwest Airlines has already canceled nearly 2,400 flights tomorrow as it continues to get its operations back on track. That cancellation total comes from FlightAware. Southwest says the recent winter storm flight scheduling and its outdated systems are to blame. Its CEO Bob Jordan says the airline will temporarily fly a reduced schedule to try and reposition crews and planes.
We're doing everything we can to return to a normal operation. And please also hear that I'm truly sorry.
I was there from 12, left at 12. I'm still stranded. I need to drive 9 more hours. My feet are swollen. I'm upset. I'm stressed. I'm tired. And I hate them.
Experts say the best thing you can do for yourself in a situation like this is book another airline as soon as you can. It's going to feel a little bit more spring-like as we head into the weekend and in the new year. Let's get a quick check of your forecast with meteorologist Adam Caskey.
A bit damp and drizzly to start your Thursday morning, reduced visibility with fog as well, but well above freezing, 57 degrees. Then remaining cloudy, even when the fog clears up. It's going to be a gray day, 72 in the afternoon. A few showers generally east of San Antonio tomorrow afternoon. By Friday, mostly cloudy, 53 in the morning, 70 in the afternoon. And this upcoming holiday weekend, mornings near 50, afternoons well into the 70s.
A man accused of crashing into a car and shooting into it is now in police custody. Live Oak police were called to the 1300 block of Oak Terrace around 2:30 this morning. The caller told police his car was hit by another driver who then shot into it. Now, police say the driver pulled into a nearby apartment complex. One building was temporarily evacuated as a precaution. 40-year-old Adam Shepard was eventually arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. A man shot while allegedly trying to sell shoes is expected to be okay. It happened around 1 this morning in the 15,400 block of Bob White Quail. That's in the far west Bexar County. Now, deputies say the man in his 20s arranged to sell some shoes to someone when he was shot in the chest outside of his home. The sheriff's office has not released a description of that suspect. A convenience store visitor was in no shape to shop in North Downtown. He stumbled in bleeding from stab wounds, then passed out. Now, it happened around 10 last night at a Quick Trip in the 300 block of San Pedro. Police say the 46-year-old man walked into the store with stab wounds to his neck, but he lost consciousness. He He was then taken to BAMC in serious condition. Officers say they found a blood trail leading across the highway to Quincy Street. No word just yet on a suspect. For the first time in 3 years, one of the biggest MLK marches in the country is supposed to happen in San Antonio streets yet again. Garrett Berger tells us after a 2-year derailment how it got renewed energy and a bigger budget than ever.
From 12 to 2 for the performance.
In its last meeting of the year, the MLK Commission focused largely on last-minute details.
The link for the awards added to the calendar of events.
The most important issue already decided, that the march will happen in person.
The march will end here at Pittman-Sullivan Park. Organizers hoping to pack this space as they aim for a big turnout.
The last year that we marched in 2020, I was told that we had right at about 300,000. I'm hoping for at least 50,000 more.
And they received $300,000 from the city this year, 3 times the original planned contribution. Chairman Dwayne Robinson says the money allows the commission to firstly just breathe.
And there's always this thought and that we think so much about the march, but there are other activities that we do as part of the commission, so now we're able to better fund them.
For the past 2 years, the march has been about making do. 2021's march was held virtually, while the 2022 march was supposed to be in person. A spike in COVID cases caused a last-minute cancellation and fall back to virtual once more.
It was very difficult because I, again, have been involved with the march ever since I was a little girl. So it's not just a march or a parade for us. You know, it's just a symbolism of, you know, our freedoms for all and where we've come from and where we're going.
As chairman, Robinson isn't too worried about that happening again, though he said he'd like that question answered by a medical professional, while the wreath-laying co-chair is ready to go.
No, I'm decreeing and declaring that we're going to be able to move forward with an in-person march on January 16, 2023.
There's less than 3 weeks until we find out. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Travelers coming from China into the U.S. will soon be required to show a negative COVID-19 test before flying into the country. U.S. health officials say passengers need to get the test no more than 2 days before flying. They'll also need to provide proof of a negative test to their airline before boarding. The requirement will apply to both passengers flying directly to the U.S. as well as people flying through third country gateways, including Seoul, Toronto, and Vancouver. The new rule goes into effect on January 5th. So long, TikTok members of the U.S. House of Representatives and their staff members must delete the controversial app from any electronic device managed by the House. An internal notice announcing the change identified TikTok as high risk to users due to a number of security risks. The U.S. government is expected to soon ban TikTok from all federal devices. Here in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott directed state agency leaders to ban TikTok from government-issued devices earlier this month. What stinks, if that's what you're thinking when you get into your car, especially when the AC or heater is on, listen up. That musty, sweaty sock smell is not that tricky to get rid of. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz explains the problem and how to clear the air.
Does the air coming out of your car vent smell a little funky? Unless you left your teen's sweaty sports gear in the car, there's another likely culprit.
What you're probably smelling is condensation from the evaporator inside your heating and cooling system. Basically, water collects in that area, and if it sits for long enough, it creates that musty smell.
Most of the water is supposed to exit your car through the evaporator drain under your car. You've probably seen a small puddle of water. But sometimes that water collects in the evaporator, and if it sits there a while, bacteria and mold can form and stink. Here's the good news. This should be an easy DIY fix. First, turn the fan to the low setting and open the windows. Get a disinfectant like Lysol or an AC disinfectant from the auto parts store and spray it into the climate system's air intake, also called the plenum.
The plenum can be found at the base of your windshield where the wipers are located. This is where the air comes from that goes into your heating and cooling system.
With the engine on and interior fan running, spray cleaner on both sides of the intake vent, and the fan will pull it into the system where it will kill the bacteria and the smell. If you have a cabin filter, remove that before you spray. It may be a good time to change that too. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Tonight on the Night Beat, a staffing shortage that could put lives at risk, the effort to fill EMS openings, and how the state is stepping in to help boost the workforce. Plus, Bexar County gets new leadership in a matter of days. Tonight, we are going one-on-one with the county judge-elect, Peter Sakai, his top priorities and his focus for his first 100 days in office. That's coming up tonight on the Night Beat. And we're out of time. The Night returns tomorrow. Have a good evening.